Hey guys, it's been a very long time since I did a vlog. I mean, in principle, I filmed one for the Magical Readathon, but I never ended up editing or posting it. And I think there might have been another vlog where the same thing happened. So who knows whether you're actually getting to see this one or not. But so this is a sort of like bank holiday weekend here in Belgium. So we have a 3-week holiday. A lot of countries have it actually. Some even have 4-day holiday weekends. We have 3-day. I'm already happy with that, especially since it also meant that my workday on Friday was super casual since like half of the countries I was taking care of were on holiday. But so far, I've only really shown you like snippets of what I've been doing this weekend. I am reading like 3 books at the same time at this point in time, but I'm hoping to at least finish one of them. I have been moving super slow with the one that I've shown you guys so far, which is The House of the Mosque by Cadet Abdullah. This is translated into English as well. So the original is Dutch because the original author is Iranian Dutch, so Dutch from the Netherlands. But it is translated in multiple languages and the English edition definitely exists. And so it's House of the Mosque in English. So I'm going through that one really slowly. I basically am going through that one at like 20 or 30 pages at a time. And it's not necessarily that I'm not enjoying my read, but I'm really just not into the story yet. And so I'm hoping that at some point I will get that sort of feeling where I want to always pick it up, whereas now it's still sort of a like, all right, let's continue and get some more pages in this book type of situation. Second book that I'm currently reading, which is the one most likely to be finished this weekend, is The Diving Pool by Yoko Ogawa, which I have in the Dutch edition. And weirdly enough, it says that it is translated from the English, which I assume is because basically this is a collection of 3 short stories, 3 novellas, and in the Japanese it seems that these ones were never like gathered together in a collection, and so the collection of these 3 short stories only really like originally existed in English, and that's why it is translated from the English. But that just makes me wonder whether the translator like really literally translated from the English edition, or whether she went back to the original Japanese short stories and translated from that, because otherwise it's kind of weird. But so this one I am the furthest along in. It's also the shortest one on my TBR to begin with. And so in this one, basically there are like 3 tales that explore the sort of like cruelty of love, more or less, basically showing, how obsessive, how cruel people can become in the name of love. First short story, I don't know what I really thought about it. I guess I was okay with it. I didn't mind it, but I also didn't really care all that much about that short story. So we'll see what ends up happening with the second one that I'm currently reading. My hope is to finish the second one today and then finish the book off tomorrow. And then the third book that I'm currently listening to, is The House of Always by Jen Lyons. So that's the 4th book in A Course of Dragons, which I won't be talking about too much. That's kind of my audiobook at the moment. And so I don't know whether I'll make a whole lot of progress in that one, because yeah, maybe I need to just like do some sort of an activity that I can combine with an audiobook to continue on with that one. Basically, that one I've basically been reading as I've been cooking or as I've been going to work. So of course I'm not going to be going to work during this vlog, but I am going to be cooking. So I'm going to be cooking in about an hour or something like that, though I just had 2 donuts, so I don't know whether maybe I need to cook later. But in any case, when I'm cooking, I'll be continuing on with that one. Those are the 3 books that I'm currently reading. Aside from that, I don't really have much weekend plans. Tomorrow is Easter Day. I'm going to my parents for lunch, and then in the evening it is a watch along for Jurassic World, the first movie of the Jurassic World franchise, with Sasha and her Patreons. And aside from that, I don't think I have any plans, but tonight is also the final for NCAA gymnastics in the US. And so I think that is around 7 our time. And so I'm going to be watching that one live as well, because it's the end of the season and it's the end of all of these months of preparation in gymnastics. And I just really love watching gymnastics. But so this weekend so far has been going pretty well. I went for an MRI yesterday, which I was super scared about because a friend of mine had said that, there or a lot of noises that the machine makes, and that she really didn't like it all that much. She really felt like anxious about it, and I started to feel anxious about it as well. But I was imagining sort of like poltergeist type knocking and banging, and it was way more machine like, almost like dance music at times, or like construction noise. And 2 years of living next to a construction zone have prepared me for this moment. So all in all, I actually fell asleep almost. I think I never really fell asleep but I did kind of have the sort of like jolting awake experience every time the machine would stop making noise. So perhaps I did nod off a few times. But so that went pretty far. I won't have the results for that until somewhere next week. But so that went okay. It was a big sort of like anxiety peak for the end of the week, and so that's over with, and so I can fully enjoy the weekend now. And yeah, so far I am living a much more active life from the last time that you guys have seen me, and frankly speaking, from any time that I've had this channel, because I was quite active at certain points in my life. You know, I was dancing a whole lot for years on end, and then I had to stop that because of my arm, and then I took up running sometime, and I got to 10K and then stopped. And since then, it's been a real struggle to get myself started on anything. But now it's been 2 weeks of doing four workouts a week, and that is going great, and I am feeling great. So yeah, I've done that this morning, but I didn't want to include sweaty workout video samples in this vlog, so I won't actually show you any proof of that. You'll just have to take my word for it. But so it is about 5 o'clock now, and I'm gonna take advantage of some reading time, because I want this weekend I want to get some improvement in my reading this weekend. Like, as I've been saying, I haven't really been in a reading mood. I think I said this already. I haven't really been in a reading mood so far this month, and so I really need to up the ante, because I have a very ambitious TBR this month, and I would very much like to complete it.
I never think, I never know. I'm stuck and left alone. I've been lost, I've been fine. My cause is not defined. Won't you kiss me? Won't you play? Won't you try me? Ain't no way I could deny you, I could strive. Won't you kiss me?
Hey guys, time for a little bit of an update. It is actually already Monday morning, so it's the final day of my long weekend. And so yesterday I actually finished The Diving Pool. Now, my thoughts on these. So these are like 3 novellas, and as I said, they kind of go into the darker side of like love, I guess, but it's not necessarily the darker side of, I mean, yeah, I'm guessing. But so they're kind of like these eerie short stories. They start off pretty normal, and then like the eeriness starts to build, and it's building to something, it seems, or at least that was my experience with it. But then the conclusions would always just like let me down. The conclusion would always be like, oh, okay, right. Don't really know what to make of that ending. So I enjoyed reading through them. The first novella wasn't really my thing, but like the second and the third one I really had a good time with. But as I said, I kind of feel like they lost me at the ending. But I did like the language, I did get engrossed into them, so it's another example of Yoko Ogawa's writing really working for me. But just in these particular instances, the endings didn't work for me. So I will still continue reading more of her works. I do want to read The Memory Police. This one, And then for House of the Mosque, I am this far in, so about 140 pages at this point in time. I have already read a little bit in it today, so I'm going to be continuing on with it. This is very much about sort of like conflicts between the more religious side to society in Iran, and then a more sort of like secular, I guess that's what you call it, right? Side to the society. So apparently, so I don't really know too much about Iranian history. I did at one point read the graphic novel Persepolis, and that kind of goes into that topic a whole lot more. But so the Shah, which is the leader of this country, has got some close ties with the US, it seems. And so as a result, a lot more American culture or American ideas are making their way into Iranian society, specifically then into the capital of Tehran. But that kind of creates this sort of like conflict between the religious leadership and the Shah, because the religious leadership sees these American ideas as being, you know, heinous, for lack of a better word. And so they very much condemn what the Shah is trying to do with the country, the direction he is giving to the country. And so the sort of story centers around this city that's kind of in the middle of these two positions. It is a city that is somewhat more secular than the heavily religious cities in different parts of Iran, but it is also a city that still has deep religious roots. And so we see the imams, and so we see religious leaders trying to gain more of an influence over the city, trying to steer the city back on the correct path. And so all of this story is centered around the mosque in that city and the family that has basically been connected to that mosque for generations already. And we kind of see them navigating the conflict and the sort of like tension between the two sides, and also seeing their internal conflict when it comes to those types of things. So far, I have been saying that I've been going through it pretty slowly, but since yesterday, I feel like I'm able to get through a lot more of this at this one time. So it's definitely picking up and definitely getting more and more engrossed into it. Now today, I don't know how much of head start I'm going to get on this one, or how much progress I'm going to make in this one, because I actually have a sort of like project that I'm going to put myself, and that is to clean out that cupboard. I need to go through my clothing because, you know, I need to figure out what I haven't worn in a whole lot of time. Definitely when it comes to those reds, the Reds clothing, for example, I almost never wear red. And so I'm gonna kind of go through this closet, be a little bit more strict about what should stay in there, what still fits, for example, as well. You know, there's probably some clothing in there that doesn't even fit me anymore, so that should definitely go. So that's going to be what I'm going to be doing this morning. And then around 1 there are sprints, and so hopefully I'll have made a decent way into this already, so that I can kind of feel like I can then leave the project aside or be done with it already and finish on reading for the afternoon. Hey everyone, so it is actually already Wednesday when I'm updating you guys, and I finished The House of the Mosque. So I basically got so much done in this book on Monday. I think it was on Monday that Pris and Sasha were doing reading sprints, and during those I read like, I don't know, like 150 pages or something in this book. Whereas it had previously taken me like 5 days to read the first 150 pages of this book. So I will definitely say it has a little bit of a slow start to the story, and then it really, really picks up. But it is also just like normal. You're setting the scene at the beginning, these sort of like tensions between the different sides of society, the different perspectives, are very much still simmering, very much under the surface. And the further along you get into the book, the more outward, the more openly these conflicts are manifesting themselves, the more that they are having an impact on the lives of our characters. And definitely at some point in this book, it says something like, little did they know what was going to happen to them, and then things go absolutely wrong for this entire family. So I really enjoyed it a whole lot. I will definitely check out more by Cadet Abdullah. This is basically his most famous work, but I do think he has quite a lot of other works out there at this moment, though I'm not sure whether any of his other books have also been translated from the Dutch. But so yeah, enjoyed it a lot. Sadly, my copy is looking a little bit disheveled because I accidentally spilled water all over it, and so the cover is entirely like ribbled from water exposure, but okay. So this weekend has been pretty much a success, I would say, because I've been kind of slagging when it comes to reading for the entire sort of like month so far, year maybe even so far, but I'm guessing that, you know, with the gymnastics season now being over, for example, with me not really being into Elden Ring at this point in time, I now have a lot more time to really focus on reading again, and hopefully also on creating content, which I also definitely still want to do. So I'm looking like I'm back into the reading mood, back into the sort of like, let's get TBR 0 done, because after finishing this one, I have 18 books left on my TBR in order for me to reach 0 TBR. So looking good. Hopefully we can knock a few more books out before the end of this month. But so yeah, with that, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you for the next one. Bye.